Today we are discussing questions and answers for Microsoft Administering Relational Databases DP-300. You can download the complete list of Microsoft-based questions from the link provided in the description. Our question is, you have an Azure SQL database named DB1. You run a query while connected to DB1. You review the actual execution plan for the query, and you add an index to a table referenced by the query. You need to compare the previous actual execution plan for the query to the live query statistics. What should you do first in Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio SSMS? Option A, for DB1, set query underscore capture underscore mode of query store to all. Option B, run the set show plan underscore all transact SQL statement. Option C, save the actual execution plan. Option D, enable query store for DB1. Correct answer is option C. Our next question is, you have an Azure SQL database. Users report that the executions of a stored procedure are slower than usual. You suspect that a regressed query is causing the performance issue. You need to view the query execution plan to verify whether a regressed query is causing the issue. The solution must minimize effort. What should you use? Option A, performance recommendations in the Azure portal. Option B, extended events in Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio SSMS. Option C, query store in Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio SSMS. Option D, query performance insight in the Azure portal. Correct answer is option C. Our next question is, you have an Azure SQL database. The database contains a table that uses a column store index and is accessed infrequently. You enable column store archival compression. What are two possible results of the configuration? Option A, queries that use the index will consume more disk I/O. Option B, queries that use the index will retrieve fewer data pages. Option C, the index will consume more disk space. Option D, the index will consume more memory. Option E, queries that use the index will consume more CPU resources. Correct answer is option B and option E. Our next question is, you plan to move 200 GB databases to Azure. You need to dynamically scale resources consumption based on workloads. The solution must minimize downtime during scaling operations. What should you use? Option A, to Azure SQL databases in an elastic pool. Option B, to databases hosted in SQL Server on an Azure virtual machine. Option C, two databases in an Azure SQL managed instance. Option D, two single Azure SQL databases. Correct answer is option D. Our next question is, you have an on-premises app named App1 that stores data in an on-premises Microsoft SQL Server 2016 database named DB1. You plan to deploy additional instances of App to separate Azure regions. Each region will have a separate instance of App1 and DB1. The separate instances of DB1 will sync by using Azure SQL Data Sync. You need to recommend a database service for the deployment. The solution must minimize administrative effort. What should you include in the recommendation? Option A, Azure SQL Managed Instance. Option B, Azure SQL Database Single Database. Option C, Azure Database for PostgreSQL SQL. Option D, SQL Server on Azure Virtual Machines. Correct answer is option B. If you are preparing for any Microsoft-based certifications, you can download the complete list of valid, tried and tested questions and answers from the link provided in the description below.